Celtic may have lost out on Champions League football on the pitch, but now an insider scoop has revealed the real story behind it all. We will cover this in today's video, whilst going over all the latest Celtic news from the last 24 hours.
But first, make sure you like this video and subscribe to the channel for more Celtic content.
Kelechi Iheanacho has taken to social media after scoring his first Celtic goal in Europe, sending a heartfelt message to the supporters following the 1-1 draw with Red Star Belgrade. The Nigerian striker came off the bench at half-time on Wednesday night and made an immediate impact. His well-taken finish in the 55th minute gave Celtic the lead in a hostile Belgrade atmosphere before Marko Arnautovic equalised to deny Brendan Rodgers' side all 3 points in their Europa League opener. After the game, Iheanacho shared his thoughts on Instagram, posting, "European nights. Gutted we didn't get the win tonight. We go again next week. Thank you to our amazing fans for the support." The striker made sure to acknowledge the away fans for their backing, underlining the bond that can quickly form between players and the support when big moments arrive. For Rodgers, Iheanacho's impact was the major positive of the evening. Brought on for Dyson Maeda, who struggled to make an impression in the first half, Iheanacho's composure in front of goal changed the dynamic of the match. His clinical strike highlighted exactly why Celtic moved to bring him in. Although the result means Celtic start their European campaign with just a point, Iheanacho's message shows the focus is already turning to next week's clash with Braga at Celtic Park. The home game is a crucial opportunity to put 3 points on the board and build momentum in a tough group. Supporters will take encouragement from the fact that Iheanacho is off the mark in Europe and clearly buying into the club. Celtic may not have left Belgrade with the win, but they did leave with a striker hungry to take centre stage in their European journey. Before Braga, it's Hibs up next for Celtic. Now for the main story, as Celtic missed out on qualifying for the league phase of the Champions League, and the real reason for their early exit has been revealed. It has been a very positive start to the season for Brendan Rodgers' side domestically, who sit top of the Scottish Premiership with 13 points from 5 games. However, Celtic were knocked out of the Champions League at the playoff stage, losing to Kazakh champions Kairat Almaty on penalties. Last week, 19th of September, the Glasgow Giants published their financial accounts for the 2024-25 season, revealing that they currently have £77.3 million in the bank. Aberdeen's former chief, Keith Winnis, who served as CEO at Pittodrie between 2000 and 2004, had lengthy spells as the chief of Everton and Aston Villa, and now runs a football consultancy advising elite clubs. Believes Celtic missed a chance in the Champions League by not spending enough of their enormous balance in the transfer window. Celtic are not investing their cash reserves. Speaking on the new edition of Football Insider's Inside Track podcast, Winnes insisted that Celtic can't parade their £77 million around the pitch, and it is not the same as silverware. The Hoops financial report stated that they brought in £31.5 million through player sales and only spent £38.6 million on incomings, despite their huge commercial revenue. Winnes added that it is the same old Celtic, a club that has loads of cash but are not investing it. He said, no, same old Celtic, a cash machine and not investing it. They love holding it and getting that interest. I don't know what they're doing with the overnight rate they're getting in their savings account, but they're obviously attracted to that more than they are to trying to buy in young talent. They missed their chance in the Champions League, as we know, so that was the big bonanza they could have had, and that could have probably put another 50% into the bank account, but they've missed that chance. We know what the argument is at Celtic right now. It's the fans saying, come on, get the cash out of the bank and put it on the pitch. We're a football club. I have sympathy with that because £77 million in the bank doesn't buy you goals or victories, it just buys you interest. The reality is that it's not enough to satisfy the supporters. They've seen the team fall short again in Europe, and they're asking why the resources weren't used. They're right. You cannot boast about financial strength while failing to improve the squad at the level required. Winnes warned that if Celtic do not change their approach, they risk the same outcome in future campaigns, missing out on the prestige and revenue of the Champions League. He stressed that while the club's stability off the pitch is admirable, the time has come to take calculated risks to translate financial dominance into on-pitch success. The message to the board is clear. Holding back in the transfer market might protect the bank balance, but it also denies Rodgers the tools needed to compete against Europe's best. Supporters, already frustrated by a chaotic summer window, will feel Weinz's comments echo their own concerns. The feeling remains that Celtic had the money and the opportunity, but once again failed to take it. In other news, Celtic's Europa League opener in Belgrade may be remembered for Kelechi Iheanacho's goal and a hard-fought point, but a moment before kickoff showed a different side to the game. As the rain poured down during the Europa League anthem, Kasper Schmeichel and Reo Hatate made sure the ball boys caught in the downpour were protected. The young volunteers, standing pitchside with no cover, were clearly struggling with the conditions as the anthem played. Schmeichel, wearing his gloves, instinctively held them above a ball boy's head to shield him from the rain. On the other side, Hatate did the same with his bare hands, keeping the youngster under his arm until the anthem finished. It was a small gesture, but one that immediately caught the eye of supporters and viewers. In one of Europe's most intimidating stadiums, with the Red Star crowd in full voice and tension high ahead of kickoff, two Celtic players chose to focus on the kids beside them. Schmeichel has been praised since arriving at Celtic for his presence and leadership on the pitch. This was another reminder of his awareness and character, with the Dane taking time to look after someone else in a pressure-filled moment. Hatate, known for his energy and composure in midfield, mirrored the act by stepping in on his side of the pitch. It showed his personality as much as his professionalism, a willingness to look after others even when the spotlight was on the players preparing for a huge European tie. Celtic's 1-1 draw against Red Star was a battling result that Rodgers will take encouragement from. But long before the first whistle, Schmeichel and Hatate set the tone in Belgrade with a gesture that summed up the values Celtic fans expect from their players: dignity, humility, and respect for the game. Lastly, Celtic's 1-1 draw with Red Star Belgrade brought mixed feelings for Brendan Rodgers and his squad. The first half was flat and lacking ideas, but things picked up after the restart, especially when Kelechi Iheanacho came on. Daisen Maeda was taken off at half-time after a tough 45 minutes. The Japanese forward barely saw the ball and couldn't make an impact in a packed Red Star defence. Rodgers, though, was clear afterwards that the slow start wasn't just down to Maeda. He admitted that a few players weren't at their best and said he could have made more than one change at the break. Rodgers spoke about his decision while making sure to defend Maeda's attitude and commitment. He said, "He wasn't at his best or nowhere near it. However, he's a good guy, and sometimes that happens in the game. I could have made a couple of changes at halftime. I wanted to make that one certainly to give us that greater reference at the top of the pitch." Rodgers made it clear that although Maeda found it tough, the first half problems went beyond just him. Celtic gave the ball away too easily and didn't take advantage when they got forward, so several players came in for criticism. Bringing on Iheanacho gave Celtic the striker they were missing, and he quickly justified the change by scoring the opener. It showed why having different types of forwards is so important for Rodgers' side. For Maeda, the focus now is on responding. His pace and pressing are still big strengths, but Rodgers' words hint that he needs to offer more on the ball to keep his place in Europe. A draw in Belgrade was probably a fair result, and Rodgers' reaction spread the responsibility across the team. He sees it as a collective job to improve as Celtic work through the league phase.
What do you think of what we discussed in today's video? Let us know down in the comments section below. Make sure you've liked this video and subscribe to the channel for more Celtic content. Thank you, take care, goodbye.